Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
She's the founder of GOLD Legal, a law firm focusing on trusts and estates, an award-winning attorney, rising star super lawyer, 5 times best-selling author, and a nationwide speaker about families, the transition of wealth, and many issues. She prides herself on being a fearless cheerleader for her clients' success. As an influential industry leader, she's appeared on TV networks, including CNBC, Fox News, CBS, BBC, and Good Morning America, as well as being featured in articles on CNN World, Parents Magazine, the New York Post, Star Magazine, and Cosmopolitan, to name a few. Her greatest success, her family, of course. She works at the intersection of your life, love, and legacy, and the law. A lawyer you'll imagine that. Please welcome. I'm so excited to have Natalie Elisha Goldberg on the show.
Hey, Lisa, thanks so much for having me. And what a bio there. It seems almost like a different world you go that all, it's funny what the pandemic has done to us. And God willing, we're putting ourselves back in the position to succeed in all of our endeavors.
Well, I was impressed when I met you on LinkedIn and then I heard your story and I was like, no, this girl is a rock star, really. So I want to jump in and start with your story. I love your story of resilience and grit. You were hit by a drag racing car and didn't give up at 15 years old. So I'm sorry, we got to start with that.
Yeah, it's a crazy story indeed. At 15, just so you think it's a regular day, it was August 20th, 2004, and I'm walking home from literally the ice shop where I was, 15 years old and working. And I didn't make it home that day, unfortunately. And two guys were racing from light to light, and one hit me, did not even step on the brake, according to what I had heard after, the event. And it gave me a lease on life that I will never forget and take for granted, because we all have such precious lives, and sometimes we can forget that. We can get caught in the hype, what's happening today, and truly what a gift it is to be here. So I said, I really have to make this time around the earth, as long as I have, really meaningful.
So where did you tap into that resilience and grit to go through? It must have been a really long road of recovery.
You know what? They said to me, you're going to have to sit 10th grade out. It was literally 2 weeks before 10th grade started. I was in a wheelchair. I had 5 broken bones on the left side of my body. I have 4 pieces of metal to this day. And I'm like, no, I'm in the number 1 school in New York, not because I say, US News will tell you. I am competing against the best and brightest. I'm not taking one day off.
Wow. That's what really impressed me with your strength. So what would you say to all the people that have been, we've all been through so much with this pandemic. How can people just keep going with such a tragic thing that happened to you and not give up and stay focused on their goals? Any tips there?
Yeah. Just remember, you're here. A lot of people are not as lucky to say that.
Right.
And if you are here going through what I think is a need for the world, really, I believe we are breaking a lot of the fundamentals of what we all as human beings currently, on the planet have known to be the standards, the rules, the way the world works.
Right.
And I think everything is kind of tearing apart so that new, better, more beautiful, more loving can come in.
Right.
And I just think we have to all acknowledge, like, oh my God, we made it.
I
And
love that.
yeah.
The silver lining is so important here. And I noticed you started your own law firm at 24. How is that even possible?
Well, the way it's possible is that I was super ambitious in becoming a lawyer. I wanted to fight for justice because I didn't feel that justice was served to me with my accident.
Right.
So at 18, I went to college. I did college in 2 years and law school in 2.5. And I'm like ready to take on the world. I learned a little bit at the former firms I worked at. And I said, you know what? If my boss can do it, I can do it. And I did. And you know, Lisa, I think it's a mix of things. Number one, I had extreme confidence in myself and who I am, that I will do a good job for people.
Right.
Number two was, quite honestly, I don't like having a boss. And of course, your clients are your boss. You have to do a good job, but it's a completely different thing.
Right. You can pick who your clients are.
And, you know, freedom, you have to know your guiding principle as a human being. And I
Yeah.
think our work in the world is to know thyself.
Yeah.
So once I started to know myself and say, okay, I'm a person who is a leader, who will figure it out, who will align myself with professionals who've been doing it for 40 years for anything I don't know how to do. And like, why not get the 10 years of experience as my own boss and leader? Because now, okay, yes, you know the law, but you've actually built a business.
Yeah.
And you had to learn how to network, how to negotiate, how to get in the rooms, how to get people to trust you, how to get the work done, right? Getting the work is only half of it. Getting it done is the other half.
Yeah.
And the marketing and the customer success.
Thank you, Natalie. There's so much to unpack there. There's something you said in the beginning of asking you about starting your own law firm at 24 that I love as motto. If they can do it, I can do it. So if whatever your goal is, guys, let's say you have this big, hairy, audacious goal and dream big goal. Isn't it good to look at examples of how other people have done it before? In your case, successful leadership in law firms. Don't you think that that's a great example of, if they can do it, you can do it too?
You know, there's nothing new under the sun. And if anyone else can do it, it just shows you that you can too. I think I had this great epiphany and I said, the difference between inspiration and jealousy is a very small difference.
Right.
And it's the belief that you can do it too. If you believe you can do it too, you're inspired. If you do not believe you can do it too, you're jealous.
Right.
But you are the common denominator in that.
I love that, because I've gotten caught up before in the comparison mode where I thought I should be a certain place and someone else was there. And now if I look at it as an example of what's possible, it's such a more powerful, positive spin on things.
I look at the Kardashians and I say, okay, there is no way that Kim Kardashian is doing these 12 businesses on her own.
Right.
But she's doing them. So what she did was she built herself as a brand, as a personal brand. And then she gets experts in the field, in different fields, to partner with her in these different endeavors. And this is, by the way, what men have done forever. They don't touch the day-to-day operations of every business.
Right. You're surrounding yourself with people that are experts that can lift you up. You don't like,
you must.
President, hopefully not going there, but you will have people on your staff that can support you, or in any leadership role.
You must, because to do everything on our own, which I think is also a trap women get into.
Yeah.
We are much harder on ourselves, much less likely to give up control, but that keeps us small.
Indeed.
And I think like, let's give it up. Let's give up that control so that we can grow. And things are not going to be perfect, but what's perfect?
Right. There's nothing that I have done on my own. I'll just acknowledge right now, like even being on social media where we met, like I need people to help support me with that. I can't create a podcast, create a YouTube channel, do all of the things on LinkedIn and YouTube and all of those things without help. And I appreciate you guys. I really do. Everyone that supports me on my journey. And it's so smart to have smart people all around you that are experts in their field, because you can't be a jack of all trades.
You hit the nail on the head, Lisa. Really, for people who do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, I tell people, do not waste money on generalists.
Right.
Oh, I can do all your social media. I can do all your marketing. No, you can't. No, you can't. I can do all your legal needs. I can do, oh yes, I'm a criminal attorney, but I'll do your will. Run.
Right.
No.
You need experts.
You need an expert, because things change all the time.
Right. You need somebody who's on top of the algorithms and the trends. I also am so impressed that you became an international TV legal commentator. Do you have any advice for our audience about how they can follow in your amazing footsteps?
You really have to build yourself as an expert in one field. My route has been get the book done first. Because what you might be an expert in, for example, many people are expert in health, wealth, or relationships. Those are always important.
Right.
Why should they care right now to get you on their show? It has to be because there's a piece of relevance. So my secret, which is not a secret, I'll tell you now, is you create a book around your expertise and you pin it to something happening in the world that naturally leans on your expertise. For example, if you are an accountant, tax day would always be a big one. If you're in relationships, Valentine's Day, the summertime when, many people might be in the Hamptons, etc. And sometimes they're spending too much time with each other and relationships are unraveling. So you want to pin it to how to live with your spouse without killing each other during a pandemic, or how to vacation together and spend all this time within closed walls and still make it out alive. How to incorporate fitness into your everyday routine now that we're in January 1st and it's your New Year's and your new goals.
I love that, because the media loves that. They want it to be relevant to certain holidays and events happening around the world, because if you guys want to get in the media, you're going to have to be timing it around something they care about. And
Exactly.
Have a book, like having a book is such really good advice too.
Lisa, it's all about that. Like, people cannot be selfish and be like, I want to talk about wake up. You want them to book you. You need to talk about what is relevant for them. And you need to make it easy for them. If you're going to make them guess through 10 loops as to how your idea connects to what they want to talk about, it ain't going to happen.
Indeed. You are so brilliant. I hope you guys are taking notes. Just going to, if they can do it, I can do it. Resilience and grit of the horrible car accident, and not saying, I'll take the sit this year out, knowing the competitiveness of your school, your industry, starting your own law firm, getting on TV. Is there any other information you want to leave our audience with? Any more advice about being unstoppable?
Surround yourself with good people. It's really important. And partnerships I've seen fall apart, both in personal and business relationships. I think a lot of the times is because people in business partner up with someone they're naturally drawn to, which has the same skill set. That doesn't work.
Right.
You need opposite skill sets. And in personal relationships, it's really funny. I think that people should do the Enneagram test and the couples test to see how you deal with conflict, with parenting, all your different styles. And if you are going into a family with someone, I created a concept called baby prenup, which I spoke about on Good Morning America, and Trevor Noah picked up and made fun of us for, which was very
funny. It. He's great though.
He is. And truly, if we don't have the conversation of whose responsibility is it, it will be the mom's.
Right.
By default. And we don't want to live our lives on default.
I love it. So you have to have communication skills going into any partnership and agreements as to who does what.
Yes.
And I know that we met on LinkedIn and you're such a rock star there. Where can our audience find more Natalie Elisha Gold?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn. I am on TikTok as well. And my website is www.goldbergllp.com. And I would love to help anyone I can in their considerations around life, love, legacy, and the law.
Thanks, Natalie Elisha. Have a wonderful day.
You too, Lisa. Thanks for having me.